I do love the books a lot. And so books really serve as kind of mentors and relationships sometimes, depending on what I need. I find it in the books. So I usually keep some books for encouragement, sometimes books for instruction if I'm wanting to learn something new, whether it's to know it or to use it. And then I keep some books that help me in whatever creative pursuit I may be into, whether it be writing or drawing or whatever. And then I keep books for adventures, for stories that kind of take me away. And then I just keep some visual books that I like to, I like books. I mean, and then just books I like to look at, like big, just flashy coffee table books. I like big books, and I cannot lie. I've already mentioned Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's a book by Johann Hari called Lost Connections. And I really like this book because it gives a new take on depression and different mental challenges and kind of put them in a more practical light. So we've been taught that depression is simply a brain chemistry imbalance. But he looks at issues around the world and how different cultures have handled it, and has seen basically that depression can be just a practical, reasonable response to an unreasonable circumstance that you find yourself in.
Like that.
What is the brain going to do? It's going to, when it reaches a stress that's beyond its capacity, it's going to default into depression. For sure, there are chemical imbalances that do exist, but this opened up my mind to a different way to consider or think about all these mental challenges that we have. Is there another way of interpreting them? Why they occur, how to take care of them. So he proposed some really good practical ways to help people. Let me see. Bird by Anne Lamott. This is a writing book, but I liked it because he gave me instruction on writing in a very practical way, and she shares a lot of her life stories through it. So it was instructional and it was inspiring, and I felt like I got a chance to meet someone new because she's very open, very vulnerable. She just tells you all the things, which I valued. I felt like I got to know her, and I appreciated that. Okay, I'll just share a couple more. Neurotribes by Steve Silberman. This is another kind of eye-opener, and it's a book about the research of autism and autism spectrum disorders. And it really gives you a historical, overview of that particular area, but it helped me understand that there is a level of being arbitrary in how we diagnose and treat psycho-emotional challenges. And it helped me see that people who tell us letters and words that diagnose that they're human beings and they have their own backstories and own beliefs that influences how they identify and treat certain population groups. So it helped me even more so want to advocate for myself and for people, for you guys, to give you the full picture and to educate and encourage to be, have agency and autonomy. I have more, but just, I'll put them in the show notes.
Yes.
So if you like to geek out and nerd out, we can do that together there. Thank you for listening.
I love it.
Love it so much. I just forgot. I wrote down 2 books. I feel like I've established that I love trashy romance novels. This isn't really that much of a trashy romance novel. It was my first. Don't be hating on this book. She's not a lover of these.
It.
We both love it. What do you call it when it is fantasy and romance?
Oh, producers.
Yeah.
Romantasy. Thank you, producer. Romantasy.
It's not a real word. They made that up.
Yeah, they did.
They did. And we're okay with that, ma'am. I have never been into like fantasy, sci-fi.
That's my jam.
I mean, it's okay, but like when you put the romance with it, I say, oh. So my 2 books that literally changed my like mind. I was like, what? I felt like the minute I opened the book, it was like I stepped into the story. And if you have ever had that, it is so addictive. Now you're like, I got to read another book, and you want that same feeling again. Okay, so it's called Fourth Wing. That's the first one. And then the second one is called Iron Wing, and I've already put my order in for Onyx. It comes out in January of 2025, and I'm here for it. Her name, I don't remember her first name, but it's Yaros. Is that right, producer? Yeah, Yaros. And oh my god, it's so good. I would say, what would you say? It's kind of like a smidge of like, it's young adult.
Yeah, I would say,
then it has like
it's not quite YA fiction. Like it's
okay,
I would
a little bit.
What's that? It is a, what do we call it? A what?
Romantasy.
A
romantasy.
So
There's
not
scenes.
romantasy
Is romantic.
is adult romantasy. This is not Twilight. Let me put
No,
that.
it's not Twilight.
It's just a really nice fantasy universe that, you know, has different beings in it with different
Yeah.
powers. Oh, there's a little bit of like a supernatural power,
Yes.
magic
Yeah.
woven into it. But yes, it paints a quick picture. It pulls you in fast.
Yes.
It's a great
You liked it
not
audio.
not sponsored yet. Graphic Audio is a new business that I've found, and they do a full actor cast
Okay.
of the story. So I've listened to several books from this Graphic Audio, and that's really excellent because in literally their tagline is like a movie in your mind.
So there's like sounds you can
yeah,
hear
there's like-
walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put a little bit of like ambient sound
yeah,
in it.
I
and
did try the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
She
do the
didn't love
graphic
it.
audio for Fourth Wing or just
I
the
listened
regular?
No, I listened to like the audio theater kind of thing that you were talking about.
Okay, just it wasn't doing it for you.
No,
That's
but,
okay.
But like I'm like a Tolkien person.
Yes,
like
this was-
like high fantasy.
This was
Oh.
like, so this is like dollar store.
Whoa, calm
but-
down.
dollar.
I mean,
Don't
no, okay,
For her.
Oh,
for
okay.
her.
I mean, because
I kind of didn't like how you said dollar store though. Watch out.
It was what I mean. No, this is a high end novel. But if
Yes,
you're,
yes.
if she is gonna lean towards Tolkien,
I mean, yes.
no, but I do recognize that it's very that series is really popular.
Yes.
Yes, it's really well
so
written.
It's just
Well
not mine. Yeah.
and if I was gonna add in something like escape wise,
Yeah.
I loved Discovery of Witches.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You did mention that,
It's
It's a TV show.
a TV show.
It's
but
on
there's-
Netflix now.
But
Is it?
It's
Yes.
a novel. I've read all of
Yes.
the novels, and there's like 4 books in that series now, and it's still going because I just finished the newest one.
Oh.
Well, newest. It's like a year and a half old now, but and it didn't finish the story. Like I thought we were gonna
Yes.
like, nope. And I was like, oh, we're gonna keep going.
Yes. I would
Exciting.
say this is probably the first thing, Discovery of Witches, that all three of us like.
Yeah,
because it never comes together that way.
No,
Which I
they're,
think
like,
is what
very
makes
different
our
things.
relationship so beautiful, that we're all so different. But
Yeah.
I will never forget, I sat and watched, I'd already seen the whole like first season, but I sat and watched Little Marie watch it, which I loved. And after the first episode, I was like, okay. And she looked at me and she just looks at me. I said, what? She goes, start the next one. What are you doing? I was like, oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's really good. Discovery of
yeah.
Witches.
Good.
I haven't read the books yet, but it's now on Netflix. So
Okay.
that's a big
Is it?
deal. And there's
Oh.
4 seasons.
Yeah,
So
and what I liked about that one is that it wasn't just okay. So, Discovery of Witches, that it has witches and warlocks and vampires and some other people.
yes.
But what I liked was that there was this whole like intrigue and power play
Yes.
going on in this history, but also that there was a commentary on. Well, I saw like a commentary on religion and some other things. So I liked that part of it underlying, and then there was a little tinge of romantic suspense.
A little tension.
A little.
It is.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Not, I mean, it's like a 2. Okay? It's a 2.
I mean, that's all I
It
need.
was also the TV
like,
series. The book has a little bit spicier moments as you
Okay.
move through the book. Not Fourth Wing spicy.
Okay,
Why your eyes get so big?
Well, it was.
it's spicy.
She feels like you
And see, I never got to any of the scenes in Fourth Wing.
I don't feel like there's a lot of them. And
No, one. Literally, there's one.
there's just like
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
We
and
might
her
be
eyes
giving
are
some
like,
spoiler alerts.
and I'm like,
But that was before we knew that it was a
Romancy.
romance.
Romantasy.
A romantasy. Yeah, I thought we were
romantasy,
just having a fantasy novel.
Yes, that's true.
And then it took a hard left. And I'm listening to it in my ears. And so you're listening and you're just like doing dishes and all of a sudden you're like, oh my.
And
Like,
you're looking around like,
your book, you can like stop for a second, but I couldn't like pause anything.
you didn't want to stop it. It was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on to the TikTok. They get on to me because I always put like the Facebook and the TikTok. I love it because
I love it too, actually.
I like it because it's kind of like I'm trying to sound old. Like I like
Going
that.
to the Home Depot.
Yeah, to
be
the
trying
to
to
the
sound
home.
old.
Yeah, because I'm so young. So I only have one.
Okay.
I'm not a big TikToker, IGer, like.
Are a little more than you thought you
But
think you are.
yes, more than I was, but not like my friend here.
She's about it.
She's all about it. So
In the TikTok.
my one that I love, 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 and there's always somebody that just speaks to you, and her name is Jessica. The aggressive cooking tutorials. You type that into the TikTok, she's gonna come up. She's great. She's a little crass, love it. She's grumpy, which is kind of opposite of me, so I kind of love that. And she's cooking, and she's just pissed the whole time. And I kind of feel like that when I'm cooking for my family. At the end of the day, when I'm all done, but then now I've got to cook for you. Okay, so I really love that. And you cannot watch this with children. You cannot watch this with children. She is aggressive, so there's bad words, and if you don't like bad words, then she's not for you. But she's for me, and I love it. She makes me laugh, and it is just a release, and it makes me joyful. So I love it.
Yeah, I think that's important. The thing that makes you laugh, right?
Yeah.
Those little endorphins. My go-to TikTok for a while on multiple levels is Mama Cusses, and she's a mom in Oklahoma. She's now written a book, but she was my first intro into responsive or gentle parenting, whichever like title you prefer. And but she did it in like a normal human way. So she's like her if you go way back, she'll be like, how I thought gentle parenting was, hello, my little love munchkins. It's time to get into the bathtub. What? You don't want to get into the bathtub? Why not? Right? And she's like, and how I parent. And she's like, hey, womb of my fruit. Fruit of my womb. No, that's what she calls it. Fruit of my womb. Fruit of my womb. Time to get in the tub. Let's go. And like, well, you can either be stinky or you can take a bath. But either way, we're going to bed in an hour. What do you choose? And I was like, yes. She speaks my language, because we think that like sometimes we have to change something that it's going to be like pretty and like Disney princessified, and it doesn't have to be that. Like it can, like I struggled with, oh man. They would want us to do that when we were teaching, that way of like of natural consequences.
Oh.
What is that called? And I would be like, I don't want to wear my coat. And you're like, that's fair. You do not have to wear your coat if you don't want to. And then when you were the place and the child became cold, the child would be like, I'm cold. Give me your coat. And then you would have to, like, you were supposed to be able to respond in a neutral tone of like, I can see that you're cold. I'm wearing my jacket and I'm not cold. And then just leave it. But in my head, even reading this parenting book, in my head, I sounded snarky. And I was like, I don't think this is the parenting style for me, because in my head I'm like, well, I'm wearing my coat and my coat is toasty, so I don't know what to tell you. And I just didn't feel like that was going to be the that was going to be the way for me. But she kind of like gave some just framework and some groundwork of like how to be a responsive parent without the snark, or like with like gentle, happy snark, not, petty snark.
Listen, I can be a little bit petty snarks. What about you?
I don't do TikTok. Well, I mean, I see TikToks that you guys send me, but I do. I watch some YouTube shorts, which same thing. But I like Rockstar. Okay, I really like animals a lot.
And, I love him.
Yeah, and so he does the animal voiceovers, and they just make me so happy. Like I laugh, and like I go back and watch some over and over again with my youngest, and my youngest is actually taken to talking like the voiceover person on a regular basis.
I think I would like that.
Yeah. But so that's what I go for. Like if I just need a pick me up or I just want to laugh. But I also on YouTube, I usually go for kind of aesthetic, cozy makers. I like Scandish Home. She does homemaking. And then also her 86M2. She's a Vietnamese woman. She does travel photography for like weddings and so forth, but she's located in Germany. And so they have a garden and the homemaking things. It looks very nice. It's like a hug for your eyes, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I usually do.
It's an escape.
Yeah.
Look
You
out
know
the
what?
window.
During COVID, I really got into like gardening. I think a lot of people did. Roots and Refuge. And her name is Jess. She is fantastic. Yes, she is going to tell you all the things about seeds and how to grow them and how to get your squash to not have squash bugs. Like she's going to do all of those things, which all of the three of us are gardeners. So that is interesting to us. But not only does she talk about that, but she talks about life. She talks about grief. She talks about just kind of what we're doing here. And I love that. And, you know, there's just certain people that you hear and it just feels like home.
Yeah.
And she is that for me for sure. She was almost kind of the first person that I saw on YouTube. And I was like, I think I could do that. She makes it feel like that's
Accessible.
possible.
Yeah.
She's kind of like that first person for me.
Yeah.
So if you're into gardening, you know, acre of land and you're interested in gardening or anything, she is great. I love her.
Sustainable living.
Yeah.
I would
Sustainable
say,
living, yeah,
she's
for
really
sure.
into sustainable living.
And that's what I liked about the YouTubes that I do watch, YouTube videos, whatever, Scanish Home or whatever. I like that the way, the spirit in which the information is shared. I don't feel like it's something else I need to do or another way that I'm not measuring up. From what I see, you know, she's just sharing what she does, what she loves to do, you know, and so it hits different. It feels different, and I just feel encouraged, and I feel like I have the choice to either take away, you know, pick up or leave it there, whatever she's doing, and I think that's the beauty for me of those particular content creators that I do follow.
Yeah.
That they have that spirit.
And that's what we want here for you.
Yeah.
Please don't feel like, oh, I've got to write all this down. Oh, I've missed something. Please take what you want, leave what you don't. We're just here. We want you to come sit at the table with us and chat with us and be a part of this community. I'm excited. This is the end of our first series.
Yes. Yay.
It has just been such a great time to be with you two ladies up here for our first series. So just a quick takeaway that I've learned just sitting up here is, for me, the biggest one is going to be making time for myself and listening to my body.
For sure.
That is the one for me. What's that thing for you?
I think I'm really just gonna try to dig into this journaling. It's like see if that's a nice little outlet. Make time for myself in there.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
For me, it's, you know, we've shared a lot of what we do or are aware of as far as taking care of ourselves with burnout. But I always come back to these steps and practices that they require like some effort from us. And so I find myself, I'm always fighting to really be vigilant and holding space for myself. And so that's what I would encourage you to do, that you're worth it and you deserve to take up space in your own life. And these practices that we've shared, they're ways for you to experience that. So just lean into all of that, whether it be journaling or any books that you may enjoy. Find a therapist so you can have someone help you hold space for yourselves, but just holding space for you to occupy your life.
So good. Well, that's it for this series.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
and remember,
for hanging out with us.
Yes. And remember, let's grow as we go.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.